Hey, Akwa-Noire here, and today we're playing a game called Live Scream. No idea what this is about. I saw it on itch.io. I thought it looked cute. It was in like a bundle that I bought, and I thought since it's spooky season, why not? As far as I know. Oh wow, okay. That's your name. This is what your viewers will call you, and this is what your fan base call themselves. Ooh. Okay. You'll be referred to with feminine terms, with gender neutral terms, or boy terms. Oh, I love that. I'm a pasty person. Hmm. Nar. Username. Hmm. Should I keep it my same or should I do something silly and goofy? You know what? We'll do that. And the fast. And then we'll name them the Starlights. Starlings. Starlings. Alrighty. If you can't tell, I really love stars. Hello, it looks like this is your first time playing this game. That it is. Would you like a quick tutorial on how to play? Heck yeah. Let's do it. Great, you've just made your first choice in the game. Choices in the game will sometimes affect one of two stats, fear and audience rating. Your fear is displayed in the bar on the left. When it changes, you will also be able to see your portrait as your fear changes. Oh, that's cool. Keep an eye on your fear. If you let it get out of control, bad things may happen. Your audience rating is displayed in the bar on the right. Like fear, the bar will glow as your audience rating changes. Unlike fear, nothing bad will happen if it gets too high or too low. However, you'll likely want to keep this as full as possible. But hey, it's your stream, so who am I to tell you what to do? You'll also be able to see your audience react in a less numerical way through the chat on the right. Oh, that's cool. And like so. And don't worry if the messages fill up too quickly. You'll be able to scroll to catch up at any time. Oh, like that. Okay. Alright, you ready to start your ghost hunting adventure now? Best of luck. Alright, let's see here. Are we live? Can you hear me? Hey, starlings. It's your girl Noire. If you're new here, my stream, my live scream, if you will, is all about all things spooky and creepy. If I had like a better setup, I would love to actually stream, but... And you're in luck. I have an extra special treat for you all today. Rather than just covering videos and stories online like usual, this time I'll actually be exploring a haunted house. I heard they're planning to demolish the house soon, so I figured now is the time to take a look. But first, let me give you all a bit of an introduction. Explain in great detail, give them the quick version. This house is pretty famous in my town. I heard there were some murders like way back in the day. Well, maybe not murders, but a family of 3 used to live here and they just disappeared one day. And no one's lived here since. Probably because it's haunted. So family moved house and you jumped to ghosts. Over dramatic much? Anyway, if you want more information, you can probably look it up on Wikipedia. Chill, just let her tell the story. It's a pretty famous house, so I think they have an article. So without further ado, let's get going. Literally what story? She just told the story. Okay, so you get different reactions. Okay. You approach the door, realizing that some of your work has been done for you. The boards covering up the front door must have been sturdy at some point, but at this point, not so much. They conveniently lay on the ground before you, seeming as though time and decay get the best of them. Of course, it's likely somebody else had the same idea as you as well. You gingerly place a hand on the doorknob, feeling no resistance, you turn. The creaking door opens surprisingly easy. Huh! I guess if you have ghosts as your security system, you probably don't need to lock your doors. And here I was hoping that I'd have to break it through the window and get in or something. It doesn't seem like there's too much in the hallway, but let's have a closer look anyway, before we venture further in. Yeah. Photos, staircase, door, upper floor. You turn your attention and camera towards the collection of professionally shot portraits in a mix of black and white and faded color. I'm guessing these are the family that lived here. Not to call anyone out, but it's kind of rude to scratch your daughter's face out like that. I hope they had a backup, like those, what are those called? Negatives? I hope they made a copy. Is that how those work? Is not how films work. You take in the sheer amount of rubble in front of the door. It'll probably take you several hours to move it out of the way. Not exactly a gripping experience. Best not to bother, especially when there's already an open doorway to your right. With a single darting glance, you can tell your great expertise that the staircase is most definitely not structurally sound. Yeah, no way am I climbing up there. I'm definitely going to fall in that hole if I try to jump. You start as a play it safe and boring. On the bright side, you're taking steps to prevent developing lower back pain in your 20s. The vents up at the upper level is just visible from your current location. It's a shame about the stairs, but there's a whole lot of other stuff to look at up there. I'm just dying of curiosity. I guess there's no way around it. You step through the archway. Guess this is probably the living room? You presume it must have been a place of love and gathering for the family once. Actually, the correct term is parlor in a Victorian-style house like this. Yes. Now, just a bunch of rotting furniture covered in dust. Is this like what happens in actual streams? Like, is this what happens? I'm so curious because, again, I don't stream. Let's see the cues we can find here. I wonder if it still works. Ooh. Even to your untrained ears, you can tell that the piano is sorely off tune. Although you know next to nothing about playing the piano, you continue to press the keys haphazardly. The sound that escapes in the instrument are, well, let's put it this way, totally unlike anything you've ever heard before. Man, I always thought piano would be the easiest instrument to learn. Just pressing buttons. Oh, you feel the presence above your head, coaxing it to form shapes. A single chord sounds out. Despite your lack of musical knowledge, you'd hazard a guess that it sounded correct. You don't play any more than that, though. You immediately withdraw your hands as a chill runs up your spine. What was that? Could have sworn I saw... Never mind. Give the piano another hesitant glance before backing away. A wedding photo. That's the kind of style that was popular back then? Your camera pans across the room and finally focusing on a diary left on the coffee table. Let's hope there's something juicy in here. Secrets, scandals, and satanic sacrifices. You flip through the diary and are immediately sorely disappointed. There are a few pages untouched by water stains and rips. You can just about make out some of the writing. Let's see. Dear diary, the weather today was absolutely dreadful and all gloom and rain. Made a lovely salmon and cottage cheese jelly. Wow, gross. And boring. Does it get any better? You flip ahead several illegible pages. There's a single page that's still somewhat readable, but it just has the same sentence repeated ad nauseum. Where's my daughter? Where's my daughter? Where's my daughter? Where's my daughter? Don't know about you, but I think this person is looking for their daughter. Kind of weird, considering they scratched their daughter out of all the photos in the hallway. It doesn't seem to have anything new after this. It just goes on and on and on. I thought that said defective, and I was like, that is absolutely me. You skim through the books on the shelves. This one looks promising. Pull out a photo album and flip it open. only to find the insides completely destroyed, disintegrated, and a third adjective that starts with D. Dusty? Whoa, I didn't know film photos could melt like that. Is this a thing that can happen normally to these old-timey photos, or is this a sign of ghost activity? I should probably... that. I should probably... that. It's a sofa. As you flop down on the cushions, puffs of dust burst into the air. You choke as you accidentally breathe in the particles. Wow. That's dusty. But otherwise pretty comfortable. I should get up, though. No sense in wasting time. The teddy bear certainly seems like they've seen better days. You pick it up and examine it, but you can't help but feel an odd sensation fall upon you. I swear I'm not making this up, Starlings. It feels like someone is trying to pull this teddy away from me. Jealous ghosts, maybe? Not very strong. It just feels like it's a little kid tugging on my clothes. Mr. Bear's my friend now. You continue to cling to the teddy. The tugging is still there, but... oh, it's gone. You can't help but jump a little as you feel the gentlest of pats on your head. On instinct, you move to bat the head away, but there's nothing there. You set the teddy back in the chair and step back. Yeah, no thanks. Such a spoiled food hits you right in the face as you step through the door. Oh, that is foul. Fortunately for you lot, the people who make cameras haven't developed smell recording technology yet. But trust me, it is not pretty. Seems like we've got a traveler here. Postcards from as close as New York and as far as Tokyo. Dang! Planes existed back then? Or did they have to take, like, a boat? Do kids learn anything in school? Yes, planes existed. You gently remove the postcards from the fridge and flip them over to read the back. You're able to make out some of the post dates to compile a chronological reading order. They're all from a Bonnie, and they address to a Martha. That's right, Martha was the name of the mother who lived here. Greetings from Rio. By now you must be settling in your wedded bliss. I'm envious. You'd love Buenos Aires if you didn't have your hands full back home. Have you chosen a name yet? How about Bobby, after the baby's dear Aunt Bonnie? This Bonnie must have been Martha's sister then. How was the name Bonnie related to Bonnie? I love that. Tokyo's amazing. I've picked up a few darling outfits in Giza. Send the photos of Bobby wearing them for the first day of school. New York is just as you dream it. Perhaps you could bring Bobby here sometimes. Might be a good distraction from the troubles at school. Whew, it's sweltering in here in Bombay, but the food is fantastic. 9 is a difficult age, but I'm sure things will get better. Bombay? Oh, right. That's what Mumbai used to be called. Wow, this dude's mean. Anyway, that's the last of the readable postcards. It sounds like the parents were having some trouble with their daughter. Okay, well that was freaky. My own house made it feel like something was walking behind me. Okay. No. We're gonna go there. You return to the living room. Move to the hallway. Return to the hallway. Self. Get out. What was that? Did you all hear that? Spirits, do you have something to say to me? Savior. You have to concentrate really hard. You can barely make out a few words. My daughter. You wait, hoping the spirit will say more, but they don't. Whoa, was that a ghost or did I imagine it? Oh, nope, nope. You survey your surroundings, order whether you've seen enough. I can't do it now? Faint rustling sound seems to be coming from within the cupboards. Whoa, do you hear that? You zoom your camera in as you approach the source of the sound. Throw open the cupboard doors. Reveal yourself, spirit. Only to find a raccoon snacking on whatever remains of the pantry staples. Oh. Well, let's leave them to it. You back away slowly. It might not be a ghost, but rabies are very real and very scary. You paint your camera and sweeping shots across the kitchen island. Look at all the utensils and dinnerware still out here. It's really like the family just up and disappeared. You'd think someone was just about to sit down to a meal if not for the layer of dust coating everything on the island. The unique aroma most definitely seems to be emanating from the fridge. Oh man, if you could smell this right now. Open it. Starlings, I hope no one's eating while they're watching the stream. You throw open the refrigerator door, making sure your camera captures every grisly detail. You peer closer at the contents, but you're not really able to make out what anything is. Not only has all the food spoiled, and most likely just a pile of decomposing, unrecognizable mush at this point. Except for one single item that sits in the middle of the carnage, untouched by town. Holy, is that a burger? Grab it without hesitation, removing it from the wrapper. It's pristine if you just ordered it from the drive-thru today. You resist a very strong urge to gag as you shut the door to your new discovery. Yep, never eating fast food again. Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna... I'm pretty sure I've read all the layers, but second look can't hurt. As you scan over the entire fridge, you notice the corner of a postcard peeking out from underneath the fridge. Sweet! Give it a tug and pull it through, tearing it slightly in the process. Let's see what we have here. Mom told me about Bobby. I'm so sorry, but I'm begging you, Martha. Please don't... Of course, there's a big ink smudge there. Please don't... What? Summon demons? Sacrifice babies? Season eggs with condensed milk? Inquiring minds want to know. Living room. You don't particularly fancy showing off your lack of piano prowess any further. You cast away on it today before thinking better of it. Books, your gaze laid on something you didn't notice before. Hold up, what's this? You dust off the old tome. It looks almost cartoonishly evil. Whoa, do you think they were like communing with demons in this house? Maybe they were like holding sacrificial rituals? Is that what happened to the missing daughter? Holy moly, we've cracked it, lads, ladettes, and friends. Yeah, we're gonna open it. You flip open the book with gusto and immediately greeted with a great puff of dust. Before you can read a single line, a tingling feeling scurries across your face. Ah! I've been cursed to humanity. Oh, it's just a spider! Ah! You immediately slam the book shut. Arachnophobia is no joke. I have arachnophobia. It's the worst when I'm playing, like, Lethal Company, and there's giant spiders chasing me. You return to the hallway. You look over the photos a second time. Was that Spirit the dad? Couldn't really make the details out clearly, but you shudder. Seems like you'll have to limit your exploration to the ground floor. You're not about to start moving everything out the way, not when there's a perfectly good doorway to your right. Okay, so we're gonna... Well, I think that's all we're gonna get out of this visit. Wish there was other parts of the house we could have seen. Like, what was going on upstairs? Or where was the basement I didn't notice? Guess we saw quite a lot of the house. I feel like we definitely got the full experience. We even saw some ghosts, after all. But it's still not totally clear what happened to the family. How did 3 people just up and disappear? The spirit in the hallway was likely the dad, and the presence in the living room felt like the mom. What about the OG disappearing act, the daughter? What could have happened? I'm gonna start off by saying it was for sure something supernatural. I mean, all the evidence was there. Like, I mean, just as I said, we have proof that this place is haunted. Maybe this was just always a ghost hotspot. And the original inhabitants were spirited away. You know, like that movie. But of course, all this is speculation on my part, and maybe some of you disagree. As for the definitive truth of what happened to this family, I'm afraid that it'll remain a mystery. Till next time, it's your girl, Stargal, signing off. Okay, so I have to go up the stairs. Gotcha. So we gotta go up the stairs. Or at least attempt to go up the stairs. Okay. Oh, wow, to-do list. Spot 2 ghosts. Spot 2 ghosts and a demon. Get possessed. Narrowly avoid possession. Venture down into the basement. Get mauled by a wild animal. Host possibly the worst stream ever. Run out screaming for your life. Host an incredible stream. And that's the to-do list. Okay. Alright, we're gonna try one more time. We're gonna try this one more time. Because I want to try this one more time. We're gonna try this one more time, guys. Name. I'm gonna just do Aqua this time because, you know, it's both my names. I'm just gonna spooky go. I like girlfriend. Girl. She, her. Perfect. Alright, so I can skip forward, right? Okay. So this house is pretty famous around here. It's owned by this big family with like a butt ton of money. The way the story goes is that this family, the Suttons, once had this daughter. Well, they had tons of kids, but the one that's important for the story is their youngest daughter. She grew up, got married, you know, the deal, and they bought this house for her and her husband. Oh, and this all takes place in like the 50s or 60s or something like that. Anyway, the two of them had a daughter, and they lived as happy as clams in this house. Until one day, the daughter, who's about like 15 at this point, stopped showing up at school. No one knows what happened to the daughter. There was an official investigation, but nothing ever came of it. No body, no evidence. Of course, everyone suspected the parents in this case. Didn't help that they were apparently became really reclusive and rarely left the house. I guess it could have been like due to trauma or something, but it gets weirder. One day, a couple of months later, the parents just disappear. And not in the sense that they left town or ran away. They just disappeared without a trace. Of course, then the Suttons took over the house again. They boarded it up, and that was that. Since then, the families refused to sell or rent it out to anyone. No one's lived here since. Totally sketchy, right? There must be something going on. So without further ado, let's get going. Alright, and then you can skip forward. And now we're gonna jump the staircase. Ah! You're taken by surprise. The bottommost steps crumble beneath your weight. Doesn't seem like you'll be able to make it up the stairs. Unless you can somehow jump across the massive gaping hole. You brace yourself, working up to physically fling yourself up the stairs to the best of your ability. Yeet! Your best, unfortunately, isn't quite good enough, and you land flat on your butt. Ouch. You think it's best to leave the stairs alone. Okay. You step through the archway. I think this is probably the living room. Presume it must be the place of love and gathering. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the kitchen. And we're gonna examine the cupboard. And I'm gonna try to disturb the bud. Open the cupboard. We're gonna do it again. And then this is all the traveling stuff. You find the one underneath the fridge. The fridge. And you gotta open it because there's that burr. You think better than breaching the fridge again. And then you pan your camera, dinnerware. I also want to try to take a nap on the couch. Okay, so we're gonna move to the living room. And we're gonna examine the piano. Continue to play the piano. We're gonna do the teddy bear. We're gonna cling on to the teddy bear. We're gonna go back because then we can see the other book. We're gonna open it up. We're gonna go back. You don't notice anything else. Honestly focusing. Continue reading. Oh shit. Okay. There is a single page that's still somewhat readable, but it just has the same patterns. Where's my daughter? Where's my daughter? Oh, spit. Yeah. Did you guys hear that? I think I just saw something. Did the camera catch that? A wedding photo, you know, isn't it kind of weird that they took photos? Convert to all religions, even demon worshipping ones must be triggered the change. I cannot read today. You think you've gleaned enough? It's a sofa. As you flop down, dust, and breathe the particles in. Time to take a nap. Wake me up in 15 minutes, girlfriends. Ah, okay, so that brought it down. Time to get back at it. People are like, why'd you do that? And we're gonna go to the hallway. We're gonna examine them again. We're gonna examine this. Several hours smooth way. There's opportunity to open door. Self. Get out. What was that? Did y'all hear that? Spirits, did you have something to say to me? Savior. You have to concentrate really hard. You can barely make out a few words. My daughter. You wait, hoping they'll say more, but they don't. You're not about to start moving stuff. It's best to leave the stairs alone. Just visible. It's a shame about the stairs. I bet there's a whole lot of other stuff to look at. Just dying of curiosity, but I guess there's no way around it. You look over the photos. Was that the spirit of the dead? I couldn't really make the details out. Seems like you have to limit your exploration. Before thinking better of it. Okay. I notice a doorway to the in the corner leading down. Basement. Okay. Okay. I just wanted to make sure we're gonna move to the basement. Whoa. But this? We found the smoking gun, ghoul friends. It's hard to look at anything else other than the pentagram drawn on the floor. Yeah. Might have been an otherwise normal basement, but that certainly is strong decor choice. Finally, it's come to this. The cherry on top of this adventure sundae. Admire from a distance. You steer clear of the pentagram, casting a wary eye upon it. The candles remain unlit with a vintage lighter lying on the floor. Wow, no way anyone's lighting those candles back up. Just a reminder for everybody watching at home, don't mess with demons, y'all. I think we've seen all we've needed to see here. Like most basements, this is clearly used as a storage area. Baby furniture, kitty toys. This all seems like stuff that was outgrown. After all, their daughter was about my age at the time of disappearance. Guess the parents never really gave these things away. There's nothing else you find interesting. You think better of approaching it again. You survey your surroundings and whether you've seen enough. Okay, so should I have stepped in there? Okay, so we're gonna... Well, I think that's what we're gonna get out of this visit. Okay. I definitely wasn't expecting to see a full-grown pentagram. I think we can safely assume that this family was onto something dark. It's very likely it contributed to their disappearance. I definitely felt something when I got a bit closer to the circle. Part of me wonders if I should just jump right in, but that'd be silly, right? It felt different to the other presences inside the house. It felt angry. Well, better safe than possessed. So what do you think was actually going on here? I'm going to start off by saying it was for sure something supernatural. I mean, aside from the incredibly obvious pentagram, it's probably something they were looking into for a while. Like, what with all those demonology books in the living room and all, there must have been a big catalyst for them to go against their faith like that. The diary seemed like a good motive. They wanted their daughter back. Maybe that's why the writing in that diary was so frantic. They were desperate for any way to get their daughter back after their disappearance. Something must have gone terribly wrong with that ritual. The presence within the circle felt so raw and angry. What happened? Who was it? What if they just summoned the wrong thing? Sort of like demonic spirit, a murder spirit. And that's it. The spirit was trapped there, and that's why I felt the presence. But of course, all this is speculation on my part, and maybe some of you disagree. So as for the definitive truth of what happened to this family, I'm afraid that will remain a mystery. Till next time, it's your girl, Spooky Gal, signing off. Okay. This is super interesting. I might actually play another one of this and see if I can do things that I didn't before, like step into the circle. I almost want to know what happens if I step into the circle. Like, I might play another round of this. Let me know if you guys want me to play more of this. I think this was fun. I think this was very interesting, especially for spooky season. But that's all for now. Bye-bye.